Hey guys, Thomas Leroy here. Um, I just have to respond to this incident that I was told about by the one I refer to as the Disney princess, who apparently was poisoned, and the story is they accidentally poisoned themselves, and it wasn't so severe as that they're going to die or that they probably haven't suffered any kind of you know um, lasting injuries or anything like that, but it could have been bad, and they suffered confusion, and that was part of because they got extra airheaded, in an extra airheaded type of space or something, and they mistook one thing for the other, and they said they stupidly did this thing, and all it was that they uh, were not thinking of it, and the reason why was because I could tell you is because it was very unusual set of circumstances. And the way it was brought about, I think, was probably done in an unusual way. And, now see, this is the thing, is what I would say to this. I may send this out for them. I've heard them say, I'm pretty sure I've heard them say, that there's no such thing as, oh no, maybe it's somebody else. But I don't really believe in chance that much anymore. I mean, there is an element, yes, this there is. I will say that there is chance. But I do believe that more often than not, you could see a set of events come together in such a way that, you could easily see a design behind it. That things are, for lack of a better term, orchestrated more often than not, probably. And especially once you've lived this life and been in this place, wherever this place is that I'm at. But what is strange to me is that they speak in very spiritual terms, right? And they say that they are a light. I think they do. They did claim to be a light worker, if nothing else. Um, and they use terms like the divine as well, talking about angels and such, and guides, and now they don't refer to them as heavenly angels, um, but so here's the thing for me. The problem I've got with what they say is they come back to this place of saying, like, well, it's all because of them that these things happened. Now, I used to be an internalist, okay? Everything in my life happened because of something in me. Everything I experienced in my life was due to either a choice to do this or not do that, and blah, 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 or feel, not necessarily feel a thing or think certain things, but by what I did. The results of what I did, and the actions I took, the words spoken, perhaps, maybe, to whoever, um, basically dictated what was happening in my life. Now, it took an awful big, huge, gigantic effort over a period of, say, 20, 30 years or something, right? Of people trying to say, hey, Truman, dude, wake up. We're out here. We're watching you. You see what I'm saying? Now, then if you're going to put it on religious terms, right? And you use terms like divine and you say you're a light and so on, and light worker or whatever, then you must concede that if there is the divine, then there must be the demonic. That if there's light, there must be darkness. And that these things are not the same at all. Darkness is a place of where the other stuff was created. And darkness was used to create some of it, I do believe. Okay, so darkness is not, the same thing as light. It's very different. It's opposite. And then, if you go back and you say, okay, well, let's, consider the religious point of view. Spirits, good, bad, evil, demons, darkness, light, angels from heaven, etc. So on. Which that story, that basic outline, is the story for every religion: good and bad, light and dark, up and down, high and low, and they are really consistent across the board with depicting this dark thing. Say like the Prince of Darkness, because it's just as black as anything can be, as evil. And they're the deceiver, the liar. Well, okay. And they also are called the accuser. And the reason why they're called that is because they are a deceiver. And they will accuse you when you're guilty of nothing, like a narcissist would. Okay? Now, if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, and I think I've heard references to that as well, do you believe that what's going on inside of you and the things that you think and feel is causing the narcissist to be bad and mean and manipulative and suffer from all those insecurities within them that causes them to basically want to imprison you in some way or shackle you, so you can't get too far too fast, barefoot and pregnant maybe? Is it you? Are you causing them to do that? Or is it what's in them that is causing them to do that? Now, could we say that what's in them that causes them to do that is you? Would you say that that is you? That black, evil thing in there that's plotting and scheming, is that you? Are you going to claim that and say that's a part of you? If so, then I could understand why you would say such a thing as what I heard you say today, which was a reference to healing forever healing. What are you trying to heal from forever? What is it that you'll always be healing from? Is it from one psychological scar after another? Is it emotional scars? Now, I can understand if you're physically unwell that you need to be healed. Yes, I most certainly understand that. This other stuff, though, however, even though emotional and psychological trauma is real as well, and it can be harmful, but an awful lot of it is about what is being put on you. Is it possible that the hater there on the farm with you is a witch? Is it possible that they're smiling at you and their supposed peace now, but yet still they've been maneuvering to try and come out, like, position themselves and posture like they're the winner in that situation, that you're the wrong person. Okay, so in other words, nothing was solved. And these are the kind of people that in old days you would have taken a club to. But then again, they would have already probably tried to do that with you because of what's in them. Is it really all about love and light because you're just so full of love and light? And again, if you're going to say that these things are happening, these people are acting like that and doing these things and are taking on all their demons and darkness and everything because of the patterns within you, well, then why don't you get rid of whatever those patterns? All you're doing is you're just listening to the devil, who says you're completely responsible for everything I do to you. It's all you and your choices. Heal thyself. That's basically what you're saying. You're in charge of healing yourself. You're a God-like creature who is in charge of healing yourself, but you're somehow responsible for all the horrible bad people who consciously do bad things to you. Okay. And what about witchcraft? What about it? What is it that would cause you to do cause that series of events to happen, that series of mistakes to occur, which would culminate with your poisoning? You see what I'm saying? See, there cannot be any actual healing in a group, let's say, of that which can't be healed. that which will not be healed, that which is confirmed your enemy. In other words, sweetie, if you look down one day and you're like, oh no, that wound on my foot has turned gangrenous, and you got gangrene, uh, that's not going to heal. I mean, back in the old days, it was just, that was, okay, you're going to have to cut that off. But I mean, maybe now they have some kind of penicillin or something. I don't know. Maybe they got something they can spray on it and they take care of it. But if you get something like that, it's not of the body. Cancer is not you, right? All these horrible diseases, those are all generated and or for the evil people. I'm real sure that is what God's wrath is. And that they're doing it. They're causing that. And they bring it upon themselves. It attracts to them. The law of attraction, well, the more evil you are, the more evil, terrible stuff is going to come to you. In other words, the system will get rid of you. You will be put out by the system itself. So all I can tell you is that, no, don't make yourself responsible for everything that the evil people have done and decide to continue doing, because, see, they're not going to change. They're what they are. I don't believe that there's any way back for a bunch of them. They're there. They operate. They're called, what do they call them? The wicked. Those of Vanity Fair and stuff like that. And they've got all their goods and everything, and they've got their game. I don't think they're ever advancing past that. I don't think they're ever going up into heaven. And I know that their goal is to keep on rolling as long as they possibly can, so that they don't go down any further and things get worse. But we're not here to be used by them, and we're not going to be used by them. I don't know why you would allow them to tell you that you're responsible for all your healing, and that because, again, guys, this emotional, psychological healing, or whatever you think, what it is, more than anything, in any situation like where you've suffered trauma, emotionally or psychologically, leaving you scarred in some way, is the healing is whenever you can let it go, and it not be something that weighs upon your mind or your heart or whatever, so that it doesn't affect you in your daily normal life and preclude you from being able to experience good things, okay? That's what healing is. That's all it is. Spiritual healing is more than anything. What I can tell you is, it's, first of all, being free of hate. It's getting free of the darkness, so that you can concentrate on what's pretty and worth putting in time and effort to, worth loving. But see, all this stuff where people get stuck, where they go around in circles forever, I guess, get caught in what is like a whirlpool, a gyre, a maelstrom type of thing, sometimes, is the hate. It's like, I've been wronged, and damn these people, and even if they can't have their vengeance against that one particular person, they want to have their vengeance against that kind of people, or people in general, or just life, or God, but wrath is a real entity. You can think of it as a person. It's a spiritual entity, and you don't want to take it on, because it doesn't have any good goals for you. And the confusions can be multiplied. And it seems to me like an awful lot of people out there, like you guys with your cards and your witchcraft and whatever, you are in denial about what demons are. Like, I mean, I've heard people before, and this is back in the old days, whenever people were just accepting that there were people out there that were witches, and they said they were witches, and sometimes they would appear on a little news piece somewhere. But I mean, it was they're like, well, we believe in nature or something like that. We don't believe in the devil, right? And as if like they're pulling spiritual levers and pushing spiritual buttons to make a spiritual machine somewhere called nature create and or cause things to happen, and or even worse still yet, affect other people, and or worse still, even affect them in ways that were obviously requiring of something that would be described as a demon. In other words, they knew of light and dark. Once you begin to see any of this spirituality, once you begin to see any spiritual power, that you can see that objective reality can be adjusted and or affected, then you are the fool of fools, I believe, if, and I'm not calling you a fool, but I'm just saying you, in my mind, must be the fool of fools if you are then to say, well, everything's discovered and written before me is all a lie, and that there's no such thing as evil. There's only, that's basically what their story was, which was there's no devil, there's no evil, in other words. There's no um, piper to pay, so to speak, figuratively speaking. But there is. And it's the darkness. You can just say that in general. It's the darkness. Now, if you've accepted, that you're going to be a witch, priestess, whatever, worker of forces, then that means you are accepting, more than likely that you're part of darkness, right? And even if you're a witch and you're doing spells and you're forcing things and you're trying to puppet people and all that kind of stuff, and all the bad stuff that they do. Well, I mean, how do you come back? See, this is what I don't. This is what I was trying to say a while ago to someone. It seems to me that the whole thing, people just need to know up front beforehand so that they don't make the mistake of going down that path of looking for power and going to be powerful over people and control people and this and that and so on and so forth, and forcing things like that, because you're only going to end up in a place that's way worse than where you were, wanting the same thing, which is peace, light, love. Because that's all any of you are really after. Peace, light, which is joy, happiness, and a sort of a love, and then probably love. You would have a romantic partner to walk beside you, so that you could look at them and smile, and they'd smile back at you, and you'd be like, "Oh, I'm so happy of them," and they'd be thinking, "They're so happy of you," and tra la la, tra la la. There's nothing better than having a best friend of all time, right? Except for having God and the light and good life and abundance of life energy, etc. But this other path, I opted for the path of mercy. I don't I don't think that was respected either. But Led Zeppelin said there's always time to change the path that you're on. And I don't know if that's true for everyone, but I do know that my path was all about light and going up. And it certainly wasn't about embracing evil or hate or darkness or taking on any of that. Certainly, I would never be like, I love them, I'm going to stay. No, I would never ever do that. That would be pure insanity. I could see perhaps, being up there in a place that's far removed, safely removed, and still yet having an interest and being willing to work and bring down some of the goodness from heaven to the lower reaches so that it could be because that's what the game is, that's but you're not supposed to try and lock it down into hell. You're not supposed to take a piece of heaven and lock it down. That's not what you're supposed to do. But past that, other than being disturbed in that way, and it is disturbing to me because I know that you can't make unless you just, you gave up, because, there are people that gave up on God altogether. They gave up on the light and the life, and they went another direction. They went with the fire instead. And if that is your, boy, all I can tell you is hope and pray that I get up and get up there to where I'm supposed to go, so that you have a chance of getting out of that. Because I'm sure we might be able to build some mechanisms, some machines for some people to go through and get clean of an awful lot of that. And those things that, well, you don't really acknowledge that demons exist, do you? Well, Merry Christmas, guys. Keep the Christmas spirit, and I would say pray to those of heaven. Pray in the name of Christ. Pray in your name. But whatever you need to do to establish a connection with them of the light of heaven, without doing magic or some other evil. Okay, not. But I would read the book. I would sing to God. Sing to God. That's what I would do if I were you. I would sing to the good God of heaven, to the good Lord of light and life, and say, see me, hear me, touch me, heal me. God love you. God keep you.